From the University of Florida's College of Journalism and Communications, you're watching WUFT News.
This is a WUFT News update. I'm Samantha Narson.
And I'm Sofia Mingote. Thank you for joining us. Tuesday marked the beginning of Black History Month. WUFT's Isabella Leandri tells us more about how Gainesville is celebrating.
Black History Month has begun, and the city of Gainesville has multiple events planned. Black History Month is a month-long observance of Black achievements and triumphs over adversities.
When Carter G. Woodson founded Negro History Week, February was the month where they show the highlights of what was learned during the year. We've done it in reverse. We do all the highlights in February, then we just shut it down for the next 11 months. So I think we should always think about this is not a one-month thing, this is an ongoing, lifelong thing.
The City of Gainesville Parks, Recreation, and Cultural Affairs Department is partnering with different organizations to host events that celebrate Gainesville's rich Black culture and achievements.
This is the same whether it's Gainesville, Jacksonville, Orlando, Miami, that there is a strong local history that mirrors the national narrative. There's a uniqueness to Gainesville history, but also in line with larger themes in African American history.
One organization helping celebrate is the A. Quinn Jones Museum and Cultural Center. The AQJ Museum and Cultural Center was completed in 2017 in honor of A. Quinn Jones, who was the first principal of Lincoln High School.
The achievements and the contributions of African American community is important.
The A. Quinn Jones Museum is open to the public for tours and events free of admission throughout the month of February.
Also, it's such a rich cultural heritage that African Americans bring to not only the city of Gainesville, but for the country.
There are multiple events going on in the city throughout the month. Isabella Leandri, WUFT News.
There will be Zumba at Bo Diddley Plaza this Saturday to reflect this year's theme, Black Health and Wellness. Other events include concerts on February 11th and February 25th.
Former Miami Dolphins head coach Brian Flores has filed a lawsuit claiming discrimination in NFL hiring. He's seeking class action status if others come forward. The lawsuit defines his specific complaints against 3 clubs: the Dolphins, Giants, and Broncos. Flores claims there was bias in his breakup with the Dolphins after a 24-25 record, and says in 2019 the owner offered him private bonuses to lose games to improve draft position. He claims his interview with the Giants last week was a sham, that they had already picked somebody else and just needed to interview a minority before announcing it. His lawsuit claims the Broncos treated him similarly 3 years ago, but Flores went forward today with a pre-scheduled interview with the New Orleans Saints after giving them a heads up about the lawsuit. 6 tech-savvy juveniles have been identified as persons of interest by the FBI in this week's bomb threats to historically Black colleges and universities. More than a dozen HBCUs were hit with bomb threats to start Black History Month. An NBC source says the FBI has already identified 6 juveniles around the country as possible suspects. Howard University was among the first to issue a shelter-in-place order yesterday, and Edward Waters in Jacksonville had to cancel classes.
Alachua County's land conservation program closed on the largest single land purchase in 22 years. Nearly 4,000 acres were added to the Loch Lusa Slough Preserve. WUFT's Alexus Cleavenger takes us out to the preserve and the land surrounding.
The gap between the Loch Lusa Slough Preserve and the Fox Pen Preserve, where wildlife meets wetlands, has now become one. Alachua County has worked for nearly 2 years to purchase land from the previous owner, Weyerhaeuser, and now the bridge is complete. Director of Alachua County Forever, Charlie Howder, knows with county ownership, animals like this bird have a permanent safe place to call home.
It provides a corridor of over 10,000 acres of protected public land.
Troy Oliver lives in the area. He wants it to remain the same.
It's old Florida. It's been this way for several years, centuries. And I think it should stay that way instead of having to build up, marketing the area, and building commercial industries.
This is the eastern border of the property. It divides Putnam and Alachua County. It's the end of roughly 4,000 acres just acquired by Alachua County. The over $10 million purchase was made by funds from the Wild Spaces and Public Places sales tax. Alachua Conservation Trust land negotiator Byron Flagg says that the buy is important to secure it as conservation land.
We're ensuring that we're protecting wildlife habitat.
And with this purchase, the county believes that's exactly what it will do. Alexus, Cleavenger, WUFT News.
A final management plan is still in the works. Today, a judge decided to again delay the sentencing phase trial for Parkland gunman Nicholas Cruz. Cruz pled guilty last year to 17 counts of murder and 17 counts of attempted murder for the 2018 attack on Marjory Stoneman Douglas High School. He did not get a plea bargain to avoid the death penalty, so a trial is needed to determine whether a jury thinks that's the appropriate punishment or not. The sentencing phase trial had been set to begin in less than 3 weeks, but today prosecutors asked for more time to go through evidence recently turned in by the defense. The judge asked everyone to try to be ready to start jury selection the first week in April.
President Biden has approved the deployment of 3,000 U.S. troops to Central and Eastern Europe. The move underscores the growing fear that Russia will invade Ukraine. NBC's Alice Barr has the latest from Washington.
In a major shift in the standoff over Ukraine, President Biden is sending 3,000 American troops to Germany, Poland, and Romania to back up European allies.
These movements are unmistakable signals to the world that we stand ready to reassure our NATO allies and deter and defend against any aggression.
The move comes amid stalled talks with Russia over its buildup of more than 100,000 troops on 3 sides of Ukraine's borders. Russia's president insists he's not planning to invade Ukraine, but new satellite images show the extensive forces in place. The Biden administration still pursuing a diplomatic solution.
We are clear-eyed about the stakes, and that's why we've been relentless in our diplomacy.
The Pentagon says 2,000 of the troops deploying will come from Fort Bragg in North Carolina.
These are not permanent moves. They respond to current conditions.
And they are in addition to 8,500 service members who remain on standby to join NATO allied forces.
These forces are not going to fight in Ukraine. They're going to ensure the robust defense of our NATO allies.
On Capitol Hill, lawmakers nearing agreement on a massive sanctions package to severely damage the Russian economy if it invades.
Sending a clear message to Russia that there are going to be huge consequences if they march into Ukraine any further.
The U.S. using every channel to head off an invasion that could ripple across the world. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
It's surely been warming up, but I'm not sure how long these sunny days will last.
Julia Haley joins us in the Weather Center. Julia.
Happy Groundhog Day. All eyes were on Punxsutawney Phil this morning as he woke up and saw his shadow. So according to the lore, we should be seeing 6 more weeks of winter. Let's take a look at the Great Plains, currently experiencing some heavy snow and some sleet as well. But further from this system, we're seeing some showers starting in the Ohio River Valley area and making its way southward toward Gainesville. We are seeing some warmer temperatures as well, which leads me right now. We are currently sitting above average in Gainesville, sitting at 74 degrees for this evening. Some partly cloudy skies too, and above average for the rest of north central Florida as well. 74 Gainesville, 77 Bronson, 77 Ocala, 75 Palatka, and 68 for St. Augustine. And tonight, those temperatures should stay pretty consistent as we start in the mid-60s and make our way to the upper 50s with partly cloudy skies overall. And starting Friday, we should be seeing cooler temperatures and showers as this cold front starts to travel toward the panhandle starting Thursday night, and some clouds start to develop in north central Florida. But by Friday, we should be seeing this cold front make its way toward Gainesville, giving us some showers by Saturday morning, but hopefully by mid-morning on Saturday, we should be seeing some partly cloudy skies. The rain should make its way out, and we should be seeing some cooler temperatures. And that leads me to my 6-day outlook. Our 6-day outlook is looking pretty warm as of Thursday and Friday. We're sitting at those above average temperatures, but by Saturday, seeing that rain from that cold front. Sunday onward, we're seeing partly cloudy skies and staying in those 60s temperatures. On to Lauren Cooney with sports.
Welcome to sports. I'm Lauren Cooney. The
The Florida Gators men's basketball team tipped off against the Missouri Tigers at 3 p.m. today. The game was pushed early due to bad weather coming to Columbia. The Tigers came in 2-5 in conference play and 8-12 overall. The Gators were 3-5 in conference play and 13-8 overall. Guard Myron Jones led the Gators in scoring. The Gators won the close game 66-65. It's National Signing Day for Coach Billy Napier and the Florida Gators. Napier says the recruiting process has been a good journey so far.
Has been great. I think that we talk to the players a lot about plan our work and work our plan, right? And I think that's what we've tried to do. A lot of early mornings, a lot of late nights here.
Moving on to high school sports, Gainesville High boys hoops had their senior night last night. The game came down to the wire as the 3 seniors on the team shot their way to victory over Williston. Cal Evans hit a go-ahead 3 nearing the final minute to secure the Hurricanes' win. The final score was 51-46. Next up is a game with city rival Eastside on Friday. On the girls' end, Gainesville High School is hosting the 6A District 3 tournament. At 6 p.m., 18-7 Fleming Island will compete against 6-13 Columbia. Then at 7:30, 10-12 Buchholz will take on 12-7 Gainesville High School. Moving to District 4, North Marion High School is hosting the 4A District 4 tournament tonight. And 11-12 Eastside will play against 22-3 Dunellen. Also playing tonight is 12-8 North Marion. They'll take on 18-4 Keystone Heights. That's your quick look at sports. Now back to the desk. Thanks for keeping up with WUFT News on Facebook. I'm Samantha Narson.
And I'm Sofia Mingote. That's our time for now, but your Florida news is always on at WUFT.org.